on this earthly sky. Did you ever hold a baby while she was sleeping? Just don't let the good life pass you by. Well, man was made for loving, not buying. Gold can't get the things you really need. Just like my friend, there's happiness in living somewhere between broke and being free. Hello, it's Mr. Mike bringing you yet another Children's Time message, and this time I got my little friend here. We are still dog sitting, my mom's dog. This is Delilah. She's been with us a while now, and I want to say, when I was supposed to take over for the chair of children's ministry, it happened at the exact same time that COVID hit. So I was kind of put in a position to try to find new and different ways to do stuff that we haven't done before. So we've been trying to keep ways of trying to stay connected with you. We had the Christmas drive through last December. We gave you Christmas boxes. We got to see a lot of you to stop by and say hi. We've been trying to connect, having the stuff like Crafted with Keelan on Facebook Live, and last Christmas Eve we had a story time where I read Emily's Christmas Wish, I believe it was, and we've also been making these videos for the Children's Time message, which is a little more challenging than it might be. And what you need to know is they're not necessarily shown to you in the same order that they're recorded, and they'll often be recorded a lot in advance. You're probably watching this, I'm going to guess, maybe late January. You'll see the Christmas tree is still up. That's because I'm actually recording this on December 28th, 2 days before Keelan's birthday. But last Christmas Eve, like I said, we read a story about Emily's Christmas Wish. But before that, I read another thing about candy canes and why they're right at Christmas. And I wanted to take this time, I wanted to read the story again for you because I just think it's a really fun and interesting story about candy canes. So the Christmas candy cane, seen almost everywhere, around Christmas time, is a symbol of the simple roots of Christianity, one so old that we have all but forgotten its start. The candy cane takes the shape of a shepherd's crook, representing the humble shepherds who were first to worship the newborn Christ. Although the candy cane's origins are almost completely American, it has its roots in Europe, where legends say that in the 1600s, the choir director of the Cologne Cathedral, that's just a fancy way of saying church, in Germany, handed out sugar sticks to his young singers to keep them quiet during the long creche ceremony, which is a play showing the birth of Jesus. I'm going to help the dog down before she gets hurt. Oops, just conked her head. Oops, sorry, Delilah. Okay, so around the turn of the century, that's 1800s into 1900s, according to stories told, an American candy maker decided to make a holiday candy for children that would be a reminder of Christ and the symbol of his birth, ministry, and death. The candy maker began with a stick of pure white hard candy to symbolize purity, the birth of Jesus, and the solid rock foundation of the church, and the firmness of the promise of God. The shape represents the staff of shepherds, or of the good shepherd himself, which when turned upside down is also a J as a reminder of Jesus. I think it's that way for you guys. The three small red stripes were added to the traditional candy to represent the punishment of Jesus by the Roman soldiers, and the large red stripe is a symbol of the blood he shed on the cross. Sometimes, this one does not have a green stripe, but sometimes a green stripe also is added as a reminder that Jesus is an everlasting God. The flavor of the candy canes is peppermint, which is similar to hyssop. Hyssop from the mint family was used in the Old Testament for purification, that is, cleaning and sacrifice. For years, about from the 1900s, The making of candy canes was a lot of hard work. The pulling, twisting, cutting, and bending was done by hand, and the candy could be made only on, only a little at a time. So only those who lived close to the makers of the candy canes could actually get a candy cane. It wasn't until the 1950s that a machine was invented for the candy cane making, and then new ways to package them made it possible to move the candy cane to wherever it needs to be. Today, candy canes come in all colors and flavors, but the traditional peppermint flavor and staff crook shape remains the most popular. I hope you enjoyed that history of the candy cane. Let's pray. Deliver us from evil by the blessing which Christ brings, and teach us to be merry with clear hearts. May the Christmas morning make us happy to be young children, and Christmas evening bring us to our beds with grateful thoughts, forgiven and forgiving. For Jesus' sake. And all God's children say,